Joan Vassos of the Golden Bachelorette has been reluctant to marry Chock Chapple, and she has finally revealed the true reason for the delay. Joan has gone through a lot of upheaval in recent years, so her wish to slow things down is reasonable. The 63-year-old private school administrator was living in relative obscurity when the Bachelor franchise knocked on her door. She buried her beloved spouse, Joan Vassos, in 2021. They were married for 32 years and had 4 children when he was diagnosed with cancer and died. Joan never intended to be dating again in her 60s, but life rarely goes as planned. She made her television debut on Season 1 of The Golden Bachelor, when she was one of 22 golden women vying for the heart of 72-year-old Jerry Turner. Joan was cast in Season 1 of The Golden Bachelorette after leaving early due to a family emergency. On premiere night, she met 60-year-old Chock and 24 single golden men, and the two eventually got engaged. Read on to find out why they haven't married yet. Joan liked Chock right away and gave him the first solo date on The Golden Bachelorette. Season 1. The pair had a lovely day together at Disneyland, where they bonded deeply. Though it was early in the season, Chock laid down the gauntlet as the front-runner, and no one could defeat him. By the time Joan gave Chock her final rose, the outcome was almost certain. Joan and Chock got engaged on The Golden Bachelorette. Season 1 finale, and began their new life together. One of the most significant impediments between them and a happy ending is geographical in nature. Joan and Chock lived in Maryland and Kansas before their appearances on Bachelor franchise series. They're both attached to their families who live in their home states, so they're understandably hesitant to leave their lives for someone they met on a reality TV show. Joan and Chock revealed shortly after their engagement on The Golden Bachelorette, Season 1, that neither would sell their properties to relocate. Instead, they've been going back and forth to be together, giving them more time in each other's home states. Joan has recently been observed in Kansas several times, and she appears to have developed a strong attachment to the Sunflower State. In addition to enjoying their long-distance relationship, Joan and Chock have been looking for an apartment to share in New York City. Joan's life was drastically different before she joined the cast of The Golden Bachelor Season 1 and The Golden Bachelorette. After burying her loving husband in 2021, she found herself alone. Her 4 adult children had full lives, complete with their own children. Joan was always close to her adult children, so it was vital for her that they liked Chock. It was difficult initially because her children were concerned that Chock would attempt to replace their father. During the season, one conclusion of The Golden Bachelorette, Joan's children approached Chock. Chock has 2 adult children, Taylor and Tyler Chapple. They are the result of his first marriage to Heather Chapple, who he divorced after 12 years of marriage. Joan and Chock were keen to combine their families after becoming engaged on Season 1 of The Golden Bachelorette. It wasn't easy, but after spending the holidays together, the Vassos and Chapples appear to have found common ground. Joan and Chock will not be able to marry until they have resolved their family issues. Season 1 of The Golden Bachelorette concluded in the summer, despite the fact that it would not air again until winter 2024. Joan and Chock did not publicly announce their romance until December 2024, but they have been engaged since July 2024. That means they've been engaged for about 8 months, but they don't appear to be in a hurry to go down the aisle. Joan said that they have not spent more than 14 days apart since their engagement. During an exclusive conversation with Parade, Joan revealed the real reason she and Chock had not set a wedding date. "I fall more and more in love with him every day," she added. She added that, while she wants to marry Chock, they are simply too busy to arrange a wedding at this moment. Since leaving The Golden Bachelorette, they've both received numerous invitations to make appearances, and they're determined to seize every opportunity. Joan and Chock's Instagram followings have expanded significantly after their engagement. Joan and Chock have been joyful since being engaged on The Golden Bachelorette Season 1, but they aren't in a hurry to walk down the aisle, which is in sharp contrast to the first Golden Bachelor couple. Jerry Turner, 72, and Teresa Nist, 70. Married barely weeks after getting engaged and announced their divorce 3 months later. Joan and Chock appear to be making the better decision by remaining patient. There's little question that whenever their hectic schedules calm down, they'll find time to organize another Golden Bachelor wedding. Joan Vassos captured hearts across the nation when she took center stage as the lead in the Golden Bachelorette. A woman of grace, intelligence, and unwavering resilience, Joan's journey to find love later in life resonated with countless viewers. When she met Chock Chapple, sparks flew instantly, and fans believed they had witnessed the birth of an unshakable love story. But as 2025 approached and talks of wedding bells grew louder, Joan made a shocking revelation, one that would change everything. In an emotional and candid confession, she finally revealed why she wouldn't be marrying Chock Chapple after all. Joan's journey on the Golden Bachelorette was a storybook romance in many ways. As a widow who had endured great personal loss, she entered the experience with a mix of hope and apprehension. From the very beginning, she captivated audiences with her sincerity, wit, and undeniable warmth. Chock Chapple, a charming and sophisticated gentleman with a heart as big as his personality, quickly emerged as a frontrunner. Their connection was instant, their chemistry undeniable. Week after week, the couple grew closer, sharing intimate conversations, heartfelt moments, and dreams of a shared future. By the time the finale aired, Joan and Chock had become the ultimate symbol of love rediscovered. With Chock down on one knee, Joan accepted his proposal with joyful tears, and the nation rejoiced. It seemed like a match made in heaven, until whispers of trouble began surfacing. Behind the glamour of televised romance, Joan and Chock faced very real challenges. Long-distance logistics, family obligations, and deeply personal wounds all played a role in complicating their fairy tale. While Joan adored Chock, she struggled with the idea of committing to another marriage after losing her first husband. Love is not the issue, she admitted in an exclusive interview. Chock is a wonderful man, and I have so much respect and affection for him. But there are parts of my heart that still belong to the past, and I had to be honest with myself about what that means for my future. Joan's late husband had been her anchor for decades. Though she had found the strength to open herself up to new love, she realized that marriage would always carry an unspoken comparison, a weight she wasn't sure she wanted to bear again. Family. Comes first. Another major factor in Joan's decision was her deep devotion to her family. With children and grandchildren who relied on her emotionally and physically, she found herself torn between her role as a mother and grandmother and the expectations of her relationship with Chock. "My family has been my world for so long," Joan explained. "I thought I could balance everything. But when it came down to it, I had to acknowledge that my priorities are different now. I want to be present for my children and grandchildren in a way that doesn't compromise my own sense of self." Chock, on the other hand, had a different vision. He was ready for adventure, travel, and a full commitment to their love story. Though he adored Joan's family-oriented nature, he couldn't ignore the growing distance between them as Joan wrestled with her obligations and emotions. After months of soul-searching, Joan made the heart-wrenching decision to end their engagement. In a tearful conversation with Chock, she confessed the truth. Her love for him was real, but her desire for marriage had faded. She didn't want to make promises she couldn't keep, or enter a union with lingering doubts. "I thought I could do this," she told him. "But my heart is telling me something different. and I need to listen. Chock, though devastated, ultimately understood. He respected Joan's honesty, even if it meant the end of their love story as the world had imagined it. Though their romantic relationship ended, Joan and Chock have maintained a deep and abiding friendship. They continue to support each other in their respective journeys, proving that love doesn't always have to fit into traditional molds. As for Joan, she remains grateful for the experience and the love she found along the way. Though she won't be walking down the aisle in 2025, she has no regrets about her journey on the Golden Bachelorette. "Love comes in many forms," Joan said in her final statement. "I've learned that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is to follow your heart, even if it leads you somewhere unexpected." Joan Vassos and Chock Chapple's love story has been anything but conventional. Their journey from reality TV contestants to engaged couple has been filled with twists and turns, emotional hurdles, and public scrutiny. While some might have expected a swift walk down the aisle, Joan and Chock have chosen to take their time, and their reasons for doing so provide an intimate look at the realities of love later in life. Joan's reluctance to rush into marriage isn't about cold feet or uncertainty about her love for Chock. Rather, it stems from a deep awareness of the magnitude of such a commitment at this stage in her life. Having been married for over 3 decades before losing her husband, Joan knows that marriage is not just about romance. It's about blending families, merging lives, and navigating the challenges of a new partnership. Chock, on the other hand, has his own history of love and loss. His previous marriage ended in divorce after 12 years, leaving him with 2 children who are now adults. His past experiences have made him equally cautious. While he has no doubts about his love for Joan, he respects her need for patience. One of the major roadblocks to their marriage is the geographical divide. Joan has spent most of her life in Maryland, close to her children and grandchildren. Chock, meanwhile, has deep roots in Kansas. Neither is willing to fully uproot their lives, and while they've enjoyed their long-distance engagement, the question of where they will ultimately settle remains unanswered. This practical concern has played a significant role in their decision to delay setting a wedding date. Additionally, their newfound fame has been another factor. Since their engagement, both Joan and Chock have received numerous offers for public appearances, endorsements, and media opportunities. They have chosen to embrace these opportunities, knowing that their time in the spotlight may be fleeting. Planning a wedding with all the details and logistics involved simply does not fit into their hectic schedules at the moment. Family dynamics have also been a consideration. Joan's 4 children have had to adjust to the idea of their mother finding love again. While they have come to respect and appreciate Chock, it was not an easy transition. The idea of their mother moving on from their late father was initially difficult to accept. Similarly, Chock's children had their own reservations. Blending 2 families with strong emotional ties to their pasts is no simple feat, and both Joan and Chock want to ensure that their families are comfortable before they officially tie the knot. Despite these obstacles, Joan and Chock's love has remained strong. They have spent nearly every day together since getting engaged, proving that their bond is not dependent on a wedding ceremony. They have traveled extensively, splitting their time between Maryland, Kansas, and their shared interest in finding a home in New York City. In their recent interview with Parade, Joan made it clear that their love is growing stronger every day. She expressed how deeply she loves Chock and how she sees their future together, but emphasized that they are in no rush to make things official. Their approach to their engagement stands in contrast to other couples in the Bachelor franchise. Jerry Turner and Teresa Nist, the first couple from The Golden Bachelor, married within weeks of their engagement, only to divorce 3 months later. Joan and Chock want to avoid a similar fate. They believe that taking their time, strengthening their foundation, and allowing their families to fully integrate into their relationship will result in a lasting marriage. The couple's patience and pragmatism have resonated with fans, many of whom admire their mature and thoughtful approach. While some are eager to see another Golden Bachelor wedding, others appreciate that Joan and Chock are prioritizing what truly matters, building a strong relationship that will endure beyond the excitement of reality TV. So, when will Joan and Chock finally tie the knot? The truth is, neither of them knows yet. They are letting their love story unfold naturally, enjoying the journey rather than rushing toward a destination. Whether their wedding happens in a year or a decade, one thing remains certain: their love is real, and they are committed to making it last. Joan never expected to be re-entering the dating pool in her 60s, but life rarely goes exactly as planned. She made her television debut on The Golden Bachelor Season 1, where she was one of 22 golden women competing for the love of 72-year-old Jerry Turner. When Joan had to leave early due to a family emergency, she was cast in The Golden Bachelorette, Season 1. On premiere night, she met 60-year-old Chock, along with 24 single golden men, and the couple ended up getting engaged. Read on to find out why they haven't gotten married yet. Joan liked Chock right away and gave him the Golden Bachelorette Season 1's first solo date. The couple spent a romantic day together at Disneyland, where they bonded deeply, though it was. Early in the season, Chock really threw down the gauntlet as the frontrunner, and no one was able to beat him. By the time Joan gave Chock her final rose, it was almost a foregone conclusion.